Well, the Niners have won 2 games in a row, and they're making progress. You watched this game. What was your main takeaway as soon as it was over?
Okay, that's a good question and a good way of phrasing it. I want to praise the Niners. First of all, in the National Football League, it's very hard to win a game, and everybody is learning that this season. That so many teams are just around 500, a little over, a little under. Every win is precious, and they won the game. You get a lot of praise for that. The other thing is the Chargers are not a good team. You
No.
could even say they stink.
Yeah.
So you say, oh, they beat a team that stinks. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because a few weeks ago, they might have lost to a team that stinks. In fact, they lost to the Bears. They lost to Atlanta.
Lost to Denver. Lost to Denver.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver. So what I'm saying is it's progress. You get beaten by 3 for stunking teams, and now you win. You take care of business. So what I want to say is I have praise for the Niners, but I'm not going to go overboard and say this proves they're going to win the Super Bowl or this proves they're an elite team. This proved that last Monday they took care of business.
Yeah.
That's what it proved. And they seem to be on an upward trajectory because they won a game they might have lost a month ago. That's very promising. Let's see what happens. How do you feel, Iggy?
Well, going into the game last week, we said this was going to be a diagnostic. And I think we did learn certain things about the Niners, but I think we were expecting the Niners coming off a bye week. They just really destroyed the Rams 2 weeks ago. They're going to make a statement with this win over the Chargers, a big double-digit point win. Well, they didn't do that. So maybe they're not quite there yet, but they did take a step, and the step was you played terrible all game. You're losing in the fourth quarter. You come back and win. I mean, they were 1-30 when they were down by 3 points or more starting the fourth quarter since Kyle Shanahan's been the head coach. It was only his second win in 32 tries, given that scenario. So there was when the fourth quarter started, I thought they're going to lose. They never come from behind. They did. They scored 9 points, gave up none. That was clutch. And then that special teams, that punt, sealed the game. That was clutch too.
It was. They pulled it out. It was very impressive. And Iggy, when we were watching this morning, they were losing till about 8 minutes left in the game. I mean, they could have really blown that game against a bad team, and that would have been very bad. Now, that would have been very bad. Right. But they did what they needed to do, and they played well in the fourth quarter. So I praise them, but I don't go out of my mind. I don't say that this is one of the great teams in the history of the NFL. It's a promising team with perhaps a higher threshold than I understood before. And I use the word perhaps because there's a lot more to learn.
It's just surprising because this team has been together for so long and they've had stretches where they've been really good on offense as recently as last year. And it seems like they're still trying to figure out how to get back there. And they're not there yet. But that performance in the fourth quarter was quite promising. It means that they're close. I mean, they figured out that Elijah Mitchell's a guy they need to feature. Juwan Jennings is we're going to talk about them a little later, but they're starting to figure out who they need to go to on offense.
And I also want to talk about the defense. They shut out the Chargers in the second half. That's a big deal. I mean, again, the Chargers stink, but they have a very good quarterback. I admire Herbert. Now he might have been goofy in the second half. He seemed like from that shot that he took from Greenlaw. That was that was a crummy hit. And when I looked at it, what Greenlaw did, how could he not know he was going helmet to helmet? It looked like he was a guided missile. I don't talk to him. I don't know him. I think they were correct to throw him out of the game. I think people, defensive players need to know you can't do that. And I'm not sure that Herbert was right after that hit. That was just a parenthetical about that hit.
It looked like Herbert had gotten tackled and like Greenlaw was trying to get one more hit in as Herbert was going down. And I don't think Greenlaw intended a helmet to helmet hit him because he knew you would get fined and suspended or kicked out of the game for that. But I think he was trying to hit him with his shoulder one more time. It's the risk you take. The guy moves a little bit, you hit him in the helmet, you're ejected from the game. So I didn't quibble with the call.
Oh gosh.
No.
Me neither.
No. But so, okay, I guess following you didn't watch the game in real time, but when it was happening in 3 hours, it was the Niners losing for 52 minutes of the 60. So it was a lot of complaining on Twitter. Like, what the hell is this? Why isn't the offense scoring? They only had 13 points until 8 minutes left in the game, and then they took care of business. But it was a very mixed emotions after the game, big time.
Mixed emotions for whom?
For fans. Like when I do my post-game thing, it wasn't like a lot of people celebrating about the win. It was a lot of people saying, hey, Jimmy played great. These guys played great. Why was this game so hard? And it's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question, but it's a secondary point. The main point is they won. But fine, let's talk about the secondary question.
Well, it's important to bring up the main point on a Tuesday when the emotions have worn off.
Yes.
C. Turley says, I know we don't want to get carried away, but should Jimmy go to a Super Bowl? How is there not a quarterback controversy?
Let's not go there today.
Let's not go there yet.
No, I mean, that's a fair question.
Yes.
But they have, 8 more games to play?
Yeah.
There's so much to be decided, so much to be determined. The Niners have a problem with the quarterback. They have a problem. Jimmy's only signed for this year. They don't know what they have in Trey Lance. The poor guy is hurt. Kyle got him hurt, but that's business for later. This is like picking at a scab. After every game, we have to compare these two guys. Let's call a moratorium on it. Let's talk about it when it becomes relevant. It's completely irrelevant now. So let's have a moratorium.
Right. And also, it's a situation you don't necessarily have to anticipate and plan for. If it happens, you'll make the right decision when the time comes. But you don't have to fantasize about what happens if they do this. You have no idea how the season's going to play out. And if they make it that far, why or who will be playing, all that kind of stuff. So
they didn't
let's
make
just see
it
what
to
happens.
the Super Bowl yet. So there are so many hypotheticals in that question. So I'm asking our viewers, could we stay away from that topic now and talk about the real world?
Let's stay in the moment. Mikey 49er says, when the O bails out the D when it's needed, then yes. I guess that hasn't happened yet this season. I guess that would be when he feels confident. David Butler says, wanted to send this last week but wasn't able to catch the show live. The father-son relationship you two share is beautiful. I just lost my dad last week to Alzheimer's at 77 years old. I'm sorry, David.
I'm sorry, David. I know that must be very hard.
Sorry about that.